There's a new report that says within 24 to 36 hours, we could see a major conflict between India and Pakistan. How will that impact us? What is the ramifications of two countries with nuclear capabilities who has sought and fought over one piece of land, kind of right between them? It's a very disgruntled situation, and it just went to a higher level. What's the severity of what's going on over there? We're going to discuss that. Also, we're going to discuss other India news. India came out and stated, whatever China chooses not to do, we will do. We want to support America. This is a big move, and actually, because India does not like China, it actually could benefit us when it comes to trade negotiations. One big monster player in the market just said, well, we're going to move our factories from China to India in support of America, and only to cater to Americans. It's a pretty big deal. Also, Mark Zuckerberg comes out with a report dealing with what he says the biggest scam is in America. Now, this is coming from a billionaire who pretty much, was not really, I would say, a patriot of any sort. Now he's, waving American flags, promoting the fact that he wants to see America first. Is he changed, or is he just a grifter? Bottom line, what he did say, I actually do believe in. Let's talk about it too. We're going to discuss families, the breakdown of the family, and these numbers would scare you, and it should make you think, man, this is like apocalyptic style numbers. We're going to talk about why people are not having children, and if they are having children, who's standing up for them. We're also going to talk about what's China's new push in America. Came out of New Hampshire. What did this congressional candidate just say about China and what they're trying to take away in New Hampshire? Let's start. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here today. We hope that you enjoy the content and learn from it, and hopefully gain a common sense approach to the crazy world we live in. Remember, we're doing a giveaway tomorrow, so make sure you are entered into the giveaway by being subscribed, commenting, and give us a thumbs up. Now let's dive into these stories. This comes out of New Hampshire, and this is from Lily Tang. She gained a little of a notoriety over the national side in the last election cycle, but she came out and stated that there's a national security concern when it comes to Chinese company, and they're not just coming to our shores. They're not looking just for farmland. They're looking to purchase water rights. They're looking to take over our rights and water resources. Lily Tang shares her journey from communist China to the U.S. and her political activism. Running for Congress a third time highlights her concerns about the erosion of American freedoms when it comes to the influences of China's businesses in the U.S. cities, citing that Chinese investors are trying, even in New Hampshire, where she's from now, they're trying to pull and sway politicians to get closer to having water rights in America. Now I want to think about this for a second. I'm a southern Mississippi American. Do you think any country, okay, let's just say for instance, the guy that's bringing up charges against Trump, the articles of impeachment, the Shri Thilander, or whatever his name is, from Michigan. Have you heard him speak? He's born in India, and now he is a Michigan congressman. He's 70 years old. Listen to him speak. Can't speak. He struggles speaking English, and he is one of the people that's supposed to represent the people of America. Now, why do I bring that up, and why is that important? So we just talked about a foreign company who owns all the meat processing of major players in America. They are wanting to buy farmlands and water rights, and we say there's no problem with that. We also have a guy bringing up articles of impeachment. We think of Ilhan Omar again, right next to him, with basically representing Somali interest instead of American interest. These are the kind of people that are now leading charges for a major party in the Democrats that say, okay, we would rather benefit for foreign entities, and also pushing for foreign countries versus American countries. And you're like, well, Colby, I mean, it's the land of the free. They could do what they want. Okay, so what we're doing is we're allowing, based on quote-unquote freedom, we're allowing the Democrats to push for illegal immigration. Like, for instance, in New Hampshire, the congressman that Lily Tang Williams is going against, she's allowing for China to come in. She's okay with China to come in to buy the water rights there. Are we okay with China to come in and buying farmland and having water rights in America? Are we okay with allowing for foreign-born people to run Congress? Now, the reason I brought up that I was a southern white guy from Mississippi, do you think they would allow me in the Indian parliament to say, you know what, I'm changing things. Modi's out, I'm in. Modi's out, I'm issuing articles of impeachment. They would think I'm crazy. What if all of a sudden I said, I'm going to go to China and I'm going to buy some land, and by the way, I'm going to influence enough of these politicians to where I could just take the water rights of China. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to buy the farmland and you can't have it. Do you think they would allow that to happen? They won't even allow that to happen in third world countries. Why in the world are we allowing this to take place here? We have Chinese that owns most of our meat, buying farmland, and now wanting water resources in major cities and states across America. We have people bringing up articles of impeachment, and people like Ilhan Omar who literally are pushing every opportunity against American citizens for other countries in the world. This is just a bad policy. And I think what Lily Ting Williams brought up is the fact that why are we allowing all this special interest from other countries to get views and try to change our view on America? She's like, I was part of communist China. I got out of there. Some of the Haitians in Florida said the same thing. Look, we've been part of Haiti. We've been part of bad policy with Cuba and Haiti and Dominican Republic. We've seen how third world lives. Why do we want to bring that here? And so they overwhelmingly supported for Trump, because they saw how bad other countries are trying to infiltrate America. Why are we allowing this to take place? Now let's jump into another story. I thought this was good from Mark Zuckerberg. Again, I'm not a big Mark Zuckerberg fan. I don't even get on Facebook. It's just not it's not really a big deal for me. But, and I really don't, I mean, I tried, look, I'll be honest with you, I tried to get on Meta and Facebook years ago. And they took they had allowed somebody to hack my account. And then we lost tons of money on there. And it was just like, yeah, look, it's not for me. And then I get censored if I try to repost something on there. But oh well. One thing that we've seen though is Mark Zuckerberg and people like Jeff Bezos, all of them coming back towards the middle. Now they're billionaires, so they're going to kind of ebb and flow with what the politics show. But one thing I liked what Mark Zuckerberg said this week. He went to Harvard Law and I think he dropped out. And I thought one of the biggest points he made on the Theo Vaughn show, he said the biggest scam in America is fisting to come to a head. He said we're fisting to see a reckoning because what we're seeing is the college loan issue and people having to borrow so much money they can't file bankruptcy on it. The government's just allowing them to have it, and these colleges are charging way too much. He said what we're going to see is a reckoning because people can't afford it, and on top of that they're getting these degrees that are absolutely worthless. He said the student loan bubble is about to burst. He said what I've realized is the people that I can train and the people that want to learn from me, it's going to be a lot better on them, and they tend to pick up more than the college grad who thinks he knows everything. He said, and then he's in debt up to his eyeballs, and he's trying to come to work for you to tell you what you're doing wrong, along with trying to pay for his student loans. He said also, have you seen these kids where they're coming out of school with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of student loans? They've been indoctrinated, and no one is hiring them. He said it's just not that time anymore. And then he said on top of that, AI is going to take a lot of their jobs. He said, so I think we're going to see a major reckoning of people being in piles of debt. He said, I think that's why you saw Biden and the Democrats start pushing towards student loan forgiveness. Even though it wasn't honest, even though it can't be bankrupted, even though it was actually voted against, they still pushed it because they knew that the majority of college kids and the majority of 20s through 40s are in debt up their eyeballs with school debt. And they said, to be honest with you, whoever helps them first will pull a major defeat of the other party. He said because they're in debt and they can't get out, and they're scared to death because they can't find the job. And on top of that, they have arrogance with them because they think they know everything. He said this is going to be a major problem. And I actually think this too. Now, I did go to college, and we encourage our children if they feel like they want to go to college, great. Aiden's going to college, but he's doing it online because we're homeschoolers and we think college is evil, by the way. But I'm not saying you can't do those things. What I'm saying is we have to be wise. I had a guy that was a teacher. I knew very well. He went to my church for a long time. And he was always told to go to this private university because they have the best teaching credentials. Well, my gosh, he's going to make $35,000, $45,000, $50,000 a year as a teacher over 25, 30 years. But this private institution was going to cost him like 80 or 90 grand to simply get a teaching degree. And I told him, I said, why are you doing that when you can go to one of these other schools or do it online for a fifth of that? less than literally a fifth of that. He said, no, we can't do that, blah, 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 blah. So long story short, the guy is now fixing to retire as a teacher, and he literally last year paid off his last student loan debt. Is this the kind of world that we want to live in? And he's not liberal, he's very conservative, but he said, I'd love to get my college loan off me 10 years ago. He said, to be honest with you, if someone was willing to get rid of it and they could use their taxpayers for it, he said, as conservative as I was, I probably would have done it. So you see how easily you see how that's a flawed system? And I love the fact that Mark Zuckerberg is bringing a point up against it, saying, look, what I've learned is the people that I can train, the people that want to learn, the people that have the brains to be the engineers and to be innovative, he said most of the time we can take them without college, make them who they are, build them into the people we want, versus the college grads who's got hundreds of thousands worth of debt. He said, and to be honest with you, they're coming out screwed. Now to another point. This came from Kobayashi letter and also Watcher Guru. It says, Pakistan says the military intelligence show that India plans to attack within 24 to 36 hours. Now, Kobe, why is this a big deal? Again, another foreign war that we shouldn't get into that really deals with a very territorial dispute between the two countries. Agreed. I'm not saying we need to get into it. I don't think we need to be in any of these civil wars, because that's what they are. Every one of these situations are civil wars that we're trying to put ourselves in. In the Middle East, India, Pakistan, China, Taiwan, and then Ukraine and Russia. I mean, literally, every one of these just has a national implication, and we think we've got to get in there because the media said so. Have you heard anything about the Syrians in Azerbaijan? No, you probably hadn't, because it's a civil war going on, but the media hasn't pushed the narrative, and there's no value to the Americans to go over to help Azerbaijan or Syria. Have you heard about the rebels down in Africa, that we need to go to some of those African countries and solve their civil wars? No, because it doesn't have that special interest from the media. So what I'm saying is a lot of these conflicts are none of our business. The reason I want to bring this one up is for two things. India and Pakistan are both nuclear countries, nuclear capabilities, which could be a very big implication of what goes on in the East and the Middle East. Now, that could be a problem because, to be honest with you, they literally hate each other, and they've already been shooting and bombing each other for the last few weeks. So an attack, they're saying, is a big deal. Why is it a big deal too? Well, we just are in negotiations, and to be honest with you, pretty much settled on a trade negotiation with India. India is fixing to become probably one, if not the biggest trade partner with America. Why? Well, Apple just came out and stated that they're literally moving their whole business. Tim Cook is moving their whole business that operates in China, that is Americans' business, and all the phones that they're making in China is coming to America. They're taking that whole manufacturing and distribution hub from China, closing it down, and moving straight to India. That is a game changer, especially with us building a different trade negotiation with India. India actually came out and stated this too. They said no matter what China chooses to do, anything that they can make, we can make even better and quicker if you give us the opportunity, America. So while we're negotiating with China, we're building a huge alliance with their neighbor who does not like China, India. So that's why we need to keep an eye on this Pakistan-India conflict, because we are now in a very active negotiation with India. Now, India is a big country and a very rich and has tons of people. And if they can help us with trade and get things cheaper and still get it better for Americans, meaning a better trade partner, because we don't have a good trade partner. We have too much of a deficit with China. So if India fills that void, then it becomes us not reliant on China. We also have a better relationship with India. We actually have a common interest to where we don't want to see threats from China or the Middle East to cause problems. India sits right between them. So this may be one of the biggest winners of the situation is, look, even though they're having this conflict, let's try to stay away from that, and hopefully we'll encourage them to have peace. But they're becoming the absolute best trade partner for America. They're saying reciprocal tariffs are fine. They're saying we're going to lower our tariffs on America. They're saying anything America wants, we want to be able to provide it at a better price. That is a game changer. And when Apple made this huge announcement that they're literally moving trillions, a $1 trillion business from China to now India, and then of course some in America, but pretty much saying that America will have a better discount and a better deal coming from India than China, that's a game changer. So that is, I think that's what makes this story big, is because what is Pakistan trying to do? Now here's the thing. Who's helping Pakistan get their information? China. So you wonder why Trump is trying to be tough on China. It's because they're always putting their self in situations on the opposite side of us. So we need to pay attention to this, and I think this can all benefit because, like I said, yesterday's live. If you didn't get in yesterday's live, you need to. Xi, I think, is having some major problems. Gordon Chang came out and stated that China is not as strong as everybody thinks they are, and to be honest with you, that disgruntlement is rising. And they're saying if Xi doesn't make a deal with Trump soon, and these people keep losing their jobs, you're not going to see Xi's China anymore. They said you're going to see a new leader. So there's a lot taking place, and with us building this India alliance, it's actually going to hurt China more. But what we don't want to see is this situation with a nuclear threat right here on the border of India and Pakistan. Because Pakistan, again, what are we doing? Right back in the Middle East. We need to stay out of that. So we need to help promote peace in this area, especially when you hear reports saying that India could possibly go in and actually start attacking Pakistan within 24 to 36 hours. Big deal. Now, Colby, would you stop it? No, what did I just say? It's a civil war. Colby, would you stop your Russia-Ukraine? No, we shouldn't have got in it. Now should we build peace? Yes, because we've stuck $200 billion over there. But if we never stuck our nose in it, it'd be the same situation with Azerbaijan and Assyria. It'd be the same situation as the African countries fighting that you know nothing about. We did not stuck our nose in it. They would have worked their situation out, and we wouldn't have invested in it. But no, there's a special interest when it comes to these big wars because the money is flowing, and that's a big deal. Now, the last thing I want to bring up, and this is where I really want to make sure that we're paying attention. There's a new report that says just 16% of men and 25% of women below 30 are married in the U.S. today. Why is this concerning? Because in 1975, those same numbers, men married by the age 30 was 81%, and for women, 91%. This is apocalyptic because people are not seeing the value in building families and having children anymore. Is that people are literally despising raising children. We've become so selfish. We have become so selfish in America that we are wanting what we want only and don't care what anybody wants. So we're willing to say, look, we don't need spouses. We'll have flings and that's good enough for me. I don't need a marriage. And on top of that, if we do get married, look, we're gonna have fun. We're not going to have these children. They're gonna be a liability to us. They cost too much. This is exactly what's happening. Listen to those numbers again. In 1975, 81% and 91% of men and women, the majority were married by the age 30. But in 2025, only 16% of men are married by the age 30 and only 25% of women. Did you know the breakdown of the family is going to be the breakdown of any nation? And when we see people not seeing the relevance of actually getting married anymore and having children anymore, I think that's going to be a problem that sadly my kids and grandkids will have to deal with. If we want to fix the nation, we better start doing it by taking care of our families. Please do not miss this, is the severity of the breakdown of the family. Now, if you have a broken family, I'm so sorry. If you have a situation where you couldn't have kids, I'm so sorry. But it even goes back to Bible days, man. If we don't pay attention to the fact that the real winner, the real way that any country becomes successful again is with the makeup of a family. When people honor the family, the father, the mother, the children, have children, and build that as the first sign of governance, that I think is the structure for a successful country. When you see the breakdown of the family, you will see the breakdown of the community. You'll see the breakdown of the community, breaks down the city, to the state, and to the nation. We have to start promoting marriage and childcare, marriage and families again. I think colleges have hurt that. I think this alpha male mentality has hurt that. Look, to be honest with you, what's more manly than having a family with a farm that you raise all your own food? You have 6 kids and they're growing up in the same way that you are, in faith, values, morals. What's more manly than that? There's nothing better than that. For my wife to be home, to be able to enjoy time with her kids. This week my wife is doing, and you can check it out on her video, we're doing Make It Monday, so they did crafts all Monday. Tuesday they did Take Me Out Tuesday, where they were doing some things out in the yard and just kind of playing around, having a good time. Wednesday is Watch It Wednesday. They're going to have just a movie day, Mom and the girls, and then Jennings. And then Thursday's going to be Thoughtful Thursday. So they're going to make cards and care packages for people in nursing home and assisting living, and it works where they can't get out. And then Friday we're going to do Field Trip Friday. We're going on a hike as a family. I'm taking off to do that. You see, we want to emphasize the family structure. Not because we're perfect. Man, I mean, our dinner table can be nuts sometimes. Our kids can get in trouble sometimes. But when we find the importance of family, I think we will have a successful nation. We cannot miss out on that. And when politicians are not doing good with their spouses, who have broken down families, how we say that that's benefits when a woman's in the workforce and she's taking care of business, she don't need no man, and the men are saying, look, we're not going to marry, we're just going to have as many women as we want to. When we build that mentality, what we're doing is we are breaking down our nation. And that is truly heartbreaking to me. I want my kids to grow up in a good quality world. I want my kids to see America in values. That's why it's so important that we make sure our children are actually dating and marrying people that literally have the same style values as us. If not, they're going to break down the family. We have to get away from 16% and 25% of male and females getting married. We have to get back up to the 75, 85%, and 90%. And not only get married, stay married. Not only get married and stay married, have children and have abundance of them. Not only doing that, raise them in the right homes. That is how we have successful nations. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's stories. The last one's my favorite. I want to see the breakdown of the family go away, and I want to see the build-up of the family come back. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.
Be free.